What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another Tuffy Talk live show, y'all. We are sitting here, y'all, 2-1, and already got Puzzle Life coming in here with the Go Tigers. Hey, I love it. Got hashtag beat Clem Sucks week. So, best of luck to y'all. And again, we'll definitely be talking a little bit here today, previewing that Clemson game, but we're definitely going to save a little bit as we are going to be doing our own separate episodes previewing and predicting the Clemson game, which, by the way, I mean, obviously the thumbnail, sometimes is gauged there to kind of get some interest of people to check it out. But I mean, honestly, y'all, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And we'll talk a little bit about why here.
Now.
In a minute. What's that?
I am now.
I absolutely. But you got in-game Cam, Go Pack. That's right, Go Pack, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Kyle, Hunter in here as well. So again, y'all, any questions, thoughts, comments, make sure to get them in the chat, and we will get to as many of them as we can here today. But I do want to go ahead and address Carson's comment saying, I don't want to be superstitious or anything, but NC State basketball went 22 years without beating Duke and Cameron before 2017. NC State has also gone 22 years since the last time they beat Clemson in Death Valley. So, and also too, like the number 22 has been basically my sports number growing up for my entire life. So, I mean, I think 22 is just a perfect number, and I think it's that dang time, and the stars are aligning, y'all, for a legendary game in Death Valley here this weekend. So I don't know, but Macon, you got us, man?
I do. Can you guys hear me?
Hey,
Did
man.
Yep. You can't have lights in your house.
Actually, our power did go off for a little bit earlier. We had I think a transformer blew up, but yeah, my battery was dead on my computer. So I was like, shoot, it's taking me forever to get it charged. So
he's trying to do a metaphor for how dark it's going to be in Death Valley when
the Tigers.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Kind of dark day. It's gonna be a dark time. So anyway, y'all, though. So again, jumping into it, you got myself, Layton Smith, Greg Legg, Macon Adams, and Ken's here joining us here, talking about all things NC State. Again, we'll definitely talk a lot about football side, and let's get initial comments here first, and then also too, there's I'll leave the door open to anybody from our side, and even the comment section as well. That if you have something that really grinds your gears, let me know, and I can cue it up here as well. But Greg, you know what? Even better, what we'll do, because you're usually the person to kind of bring it all together on both sides. Ken's, give it to me here first, y'all. What's your initial thoughts here as we
news?
Wrap up the LA Tech game? Well, just not even on the news, but just the LA Tech game with the news. Like what's going on with your head right now?
I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little bit like I did during the Western Carolina game that first half. I shouldn't have felt like that at all. But was scared going into halftime. Not even gonna lie to you. Wasn't clicking. Nobody was. I mean, Casey's usually our savior. They were double teaming him the entire time, so it was like, there's no one that can get out of it. So went into halftime scared. Came out of halftime when CJ came in, threw that interception. I thought that was gonna stay with him for a little bit, but I'm not. Like, he really came back and like balled up, because him to come back and bounce back like he did during that game, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like he had more chemistry with every guy. It was like the whole team was different when he stepped on the field. And I don't know if that's because at halftime they were trying to hype him up, because I heard that a lot of the wide receivers like Justin and all them went over and were like, look, like, we're here for you, lean on us. But I don't know if it was that or if it's just they have a better chemistry with each other. But that second half was amazing. And I'm not going to get my hopes up, because we had the same thing happen last year. But I mean, MJ did go 3-0. So if we're talking about past,
we don't say that. We don't know. No, it's CJ. There's no MJ. It's just CJ.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? I'm telling you, man. Like, it is so fascinating how the similarities between the number 16. CJ, MJ, like
it's like he balled out completely, like, as a true freshman. And I mean, I don't see how you can't start him after that game he had. I don't see how you can look at him and say you're back on the bench. Like, I don't see how you can give a proper explanation for him to understand that. So I'm excited. I wish Dave would have waited a little bit longer to announce it, so Clemson would have watched more of Grayson's film. But hey, I'm excited now.
What and making, and obviously for those who have been living under a rock, or for the last few hours, for the last 8 hours or so, CJ Bailey has been announced by Dave Doran to be that he's going to be the starting quarterback heading into the Clemson game here this weekend. But Megan, I want to ask you the question, because honestly, I get what Kansas is saying, but I'm kind of was of the minority that if Grayson was healthy, I just feel like putting even if Grayson is healthy and having that option, choosing that I'm gonna put CJ Bailey in his first career start in Death Valley, like that, all that confidence that you built up there with CJ could easily be just knocked right out if he struggles.
Yeah.
So I mean, what were your initial thoughts before you heard the news for sure that CJ is without doubt definitely going to be the starter here this weekend?
But my initial thoughts about the change.
Well, about if Grayson's healthy, would I rather go Grayson or CJ?
Okay, so I think it's a little bit of feel, right? How you feel. I think anybody in this case has a good argument, and I don't think it's anything or a fair or a reasonable argument, right? I think it's reasonable anybody to go either way.
Mm-hmm.
For me, going into Clemson at Death Valley and just being a first road start for CJ, I think is a lot to ask for of him personally.
So does Vegas.
I saw a lot, 20 points, something like that.
Holy crap.
I think you would to me, I would kind of lean towards Grayson there because he has the seniority and the game reps and experience to kind of lead the team in that regard. However, what Grayson did, and I don't think what he did was I think comparing the two levels of play we've seen, essentially, 3/4 of football for Grayson, for CJ, compared to a couple of games with Grayson. I don't know that they're that different as a player right now. I mean, as far as the production standpoint, I think what CJ gives you that Grayson didn't seem to give you as effectively, at least through the few quarters so far, was his run game. At least PFF graded MJ. I mean, CJ is a better run guy than I know, Greg. I'm getting mixed up, dude.
I know, right?
I also am thinking the call. I'm thinking the call in my head. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
Getting CJ, he's a better runner than, at least in those few quarters, than Grayson. So for
sure.
me, I guess the short version of your answer, Layton, was for me initially. I was like, wow, honestly, I'm not totally surprised. I think it was my first thought was, I wonder what this injury is with Grayson. But I don't blame the coaches for seeing, I think for me is I don't know if it correlates, right? I don't know, is CJ the reason they won the game, or is it a team, the defense really? Because the defense only allowed 3 points.
In the second half, and scored 7.
The whole team looked better when CJ was out there.
I think it was a spark because it was a little bit of a difference. Yeah. And
keep in mind that again, it wasn't a move. Like, they didn't sit Grayson; he got taken out.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, but I don't know. But to me, I didn't see CJ, and I think CJ played well. I just think I didn't see CJ being like, oh, holy cow, this guy is night and day better than Grayson. I saw promise is what I saw. I saw potential, and I saw, hey, this guy comes in off the bench in the middle of the game, and I would say the second half, like what we scored, basically we scored almost every drive, I felt like, and so that's really good, right? And we hadn't had an offensive touchdown since the
Western Carolina
game, right? And it only happened when Grayson came, when CJ came in the game. So I don't really know what you get from that. I just think for me, asking CJ to go and bring a victory out of the game against Clemson at Clemson is probably, that's a lot for your first start, right? And that's really all I'm getting at. So that's why I would lean Grayson.
But luckily enough, we don't have to make that decision, right?
The way I'm looking at it is CJ is hopefully, knock on wood, going to be our quarterback for a while. So, I mean, with how during his press conference, how hype he was, how confident he was, how hyped the team was after that game. I feel like it's just going to roll right into Saturday. And if it is, knock on wood, not a wake up call for CJ, I mean, that's a pretty good first game experience to have for a quarterback you're going to have for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
and
I mean,
I tend to glean with the idea of, hey, if the guy's younger, if they're similar, they're playing at similar levels, go with the younger guy because he's going to have more potential there. I get Carson's comment there. So I'm excited to see what CJ can do. I was already thinking this today. I was like, man, if somehow we can go down there and CJ and the team can win this game, like the hype is going to be different level for CJ.
NIU game's about to be crazy if we can.
I just think that we also have the context of last year and the year before that, and it's like, maybe like we should pump the brakes, right? We figured out Brennan Armstrong was not all we thought he might be with an eye in that offense. But he was able to be something for us in that team and contribute meaningfully. So I don't want us to completely write Grayson off. I just wonder if maybe it's you've got 40-some new guys on the team. Maybe there is some gelling that needs to go on. But
so Greg, let me put this comment, and I wanted you to so in game saying Dave's repeat of the start of the 2023 season grinds my gears, aka that he sees a lot of similarities between how 2023 started compared to this season. Do you see similarities, or do you see these two starts here so far as very different? Where's your mindset on that?
Yeah, I can see where one would come to this conclusion. It's not a stepping out on the ledge type of hypothesis, if you will. I think this is a little different where you essentially benched Armstrong for Morris. So there's a difference there. You can obviously the parallels are there with a grad quarterback, a lot of upside, a lot of expectation. You have number 16, like you said, CJ, MJ. Yeah, there's definitely things there. I just think that this is different where, I'm trying to think of how the best way to say this. I think that the hype is different. I think there's a lot more fan hype behind MJ than there is CJ right now, just because we had a small sample size the year before, whereas there's just really not a lot there for CJ right now as far as fan hype. But I also think a lot of these quarterback controversies are fan-driven controversies. Like, I don't think there's a controversy in the minds of the coaching staff. This is something that's just created for talking points. And I'm not for one, if let's take a wait and see approach, see what CJ does down in Death Valley this year or this week. I do think this isn't going to sound right, but he's just too dumb not to know any better as far as like what the hype is at Death Valley. He's an 18-year-old kid that's ready to go ball out, and he just isn't. I don't think he's going to be fazed by it per se. Now, once the game happens, and depending on what goes on, then he might be fazed. But I think initially he's just going to go out and just play. I think the coaches will set him up for success. I thought he did wonderful considering that he had minimal reps going into the week because Grayson was your number one guy. And, he threw the interception on his second or third pass.
Yeah, second one.
Well,
and comes back and he was good.
Well, that's what Andy said right here. CJ impressed me by not letting that first interception scare him in the second half. So, I mean, it definitely showed a lot of maturity there.
And him saying that at halftime, they told him, they were like, just go out there because he said he was stressed, but they said, go out there and play the game you've been playing since you were 5. And that's what he did.
I'm sure he was probably stressed, right? It's like, ooh, dang, it's all, expect this.
I had no idea I was going to be going in.
I will say that it's probably much better that this happened in this scenario where he has to come in at a home game and not, in the middle of a game in Death Valley. Now he's got some experience. He's gone out confidence. Gone out and thrown for, I think what he threw like 153 yards and one interception and then one rushing touchdown. Wasn't asked to do a lot. I think they definitely simplified the game, gave him easy reads. I thought he went through his progressions well, something that I didn't necessarily feel with McCall. And then Andy said it a little bit further up, and I thought the same thing. He threw the ball with better velocity. I thought he gave his receivers a better chance for runs after or yards after catch, where it just didn't feel that way with Grayson for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think you're going to see that Clemson. I think you're going to see them use CJ's legs a lot more.
Yes.
I think that dual threat, principle that he brings you, or a skill that he gives you, it brings you is going to, allow them to do some different things. And there's not a lot of film on CJ right now, right? I mean, they have 2 quarters, and so there is a little bit of the unknown for Clemson. If it were me and I'm Clemson, I'm blitzing like all the time against him because you're getting in his head as a young kid.
Getting gun shy.
Yeah,
right,
our O-line has to be on point.
And that's what word I think it could turn his contract. The number one issue with this team right now, in my opinion, is the offensive line, and particularly the rushing offense.
Running, passing has been pretty good. Protection's been good.
There was those comments I was talking with some of the folks. It's like the passing. There's talk that you just watch the game back, and they're like, "Oh, Grayson McCall, he has all day to throw." Like, I'm not worried about that. It's the push in the middle, and honestly, a little bit Jordan Waters, because I don't wonder how much of it is the hole being there, and he's just not seeing it and hitting it, or because I haven't really been totally impressed with Jordan Waters. And he had a little bit of moments last game, but I feel like there's
go ahead.
There's some room for improvement.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think it's a little bit of both, right? I think we've definitely struggled in run heavy situations where you're expecting a run and it's been a struggle. You had passes behind the line of scrimmage, and you're having to get your guys out in space to make blocks, or your wide receivers make blocks. Louisiana Tech did a nice job tackling too. I thought you held. I mean, Concepcion had 8 catches for 25, 26 yards, something like that. They were
on him like crazy.
Yeah, I think you just try that. You know what grinds my gears here? I'm ready. I'm ready for grinds my gears.
I got you.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Throwing a negative 1 yard pass to KC and make him make 50 people miss to get it. Like, get him out in space. Like, hit him on a seam route, or a dig or something. Like, get him out to where he can make a play out in open space.
The other one I was thinking about, though, I was thinking about this because we haven't seen Grayson take a lot of deep shots yet. I wonder if just that the coaches know, right? I think they know.
Well,
that's one thing I wonder. Like, why are they not asking him to take those deep? Are they, and he's just not doing it? Is that a confidence for Grayson and a chemistry thing, or is that the coaches? Because we all knew one of his things. He's not an arm strength guy. Right, his accuracy and
timing, get it out.
Yeah, and maybe it's just a thing where when CJ came in, they're like, yeah, you can throw. So I don't know. Maybe there's a threat that maybe CJ can give you that we haven't seen so far with Grayson. And actually in both areas. I know Grayson has run a little bit, but you're not really.
He actually ran the most in this game. Like, Grayson actually.
I agree. I agree.
And I don't know if some of that was, again, we don't know what the exact injury is. Speculation was something head related. Just he took some shots. And it was weird because the one he went out on, it looked pretty harmless. It didn't look like he banged his head or anything. And again, if it's not a head injury, then that makes sense. But it just didn't. It looked innocent.
Yeah, and I'll just add one thing that is a negative to Grayson I've noticed. And I think the Tennessee game, the previous games to this one, his touch passes are hit and miss. Like he missed the one to KC, like in the corner, and he had the touch pass. Now, granted, he had a guy pressuring his face, but he had the same way. Guy pressuring his face. He threw the pick 6 against Tennessee. He threw this one against he missed that one to KC early or midway through the game, whatever it was. So. I just don't think the accuracy even is there that I thought would be there. But that's just me.
And again, it goes back to like the touch. I thought again, CJ just threw the ball better. It came out cleaner. It came out with
more life to it.
Yeah, more life to it. Yeah. The other thing I noticed too what was weird? The other thing no, you're good. The other thing I noticed is, like, to your point earlier, we ran with CJ quarterback draws, design draws, where you spread the defense out, and then you saw CJ go up the middle. I think it was 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and he gets a first down. I think you're going to see more of that. And he's not a particularly fast guy, but he's like quick. It
Dude,
seems
he's
like.
got
It's
some
just weird.
long legs.
Long
He's-
legs,
he's
right?
just
Them long
long.
strides. Yeah.
He's a long leg dude. He's got a smaller torso, long legs, is what it seems like. But
Yeah. But again, I just think he gives you more options. It just felt like the offense moved better in that second half, and I don't know what it was. Like I don't know if I could really put my
Could be
finger
just
on
a
it.
new
but
body.
it just,
Like,
it just
hey,
felt
breath of fresh air.
I
Yeah.
mean, it seemed like CJ looked it's crazy to say an 18-year-old looked more comfortable out there than a grad transfer. Like he looked comfortable standing out there and with all those people.
And again, like I said earlier, I think it's just he doesn't know any better. He just goes out and plays.
I
Like he
think
just
what it
he
is.
just
Well,
he plays free if that makes sense.
Well, and keep
Go
in
ahead,
mind too,
Layden.
this isn't your typical quarterback recruit where this is a guy who's played with 5-star talent. So he's played with guys that are really, really good, and he's played on big stages. He's played on games on ESPN, you know, against some of the best talents in the country. So this is a guy that, you know, I think also too. I think it was a combination of like this isn't really a huge jump from him, especially going against Louisiana Tech. But also, too, I think that the guys rallying around him, and I mean, they definitely played hard for him, man. Like, there's no doubt that the Noah Rogers you saw with CJ was a different Noah Rogers than you saw against Grayson. Not to say that Noah cared less, but just that, like, I think it was a little bit of Noah and these guys be like, listen, like, we got to win this game, we got to save this, and then CJ is our guy, so we need to make it happen. So
it kind of reminded me of like a coach getting a technical foul on purpose just to fire his team up. Like it was weird. Like it was just okay.
To your
this
point,
is what we got. This is what we
to your
got.
point, Lane, too, about CJ. Like I didn't realize this. Maybe I don't know how I missed this as a recruiting guy, but like I didn't realize he was a 2-time Florida Player of the Year, like twice. And Florida, like those guys, they have so many. They produce so many football players, and I was like, wow, 2-time. I didn't realize that because I know Smothers was a 2-time North Carolina Player of the Year, right? And that was sophomore and junior.
Yeah, so he didn't play senior year. Yeah.
I was looking at it earlier, and I'm thinking like we were all talking about how it being a noon game at Death Valley is a plus. I think it's more of a plus that I was worried about the bye week Clemson had, but like Carson set up earlier, they've been focused on Grayson for an entire week, so they're basically now having to restart from scratch and now learn about CJ. So it's basically they're not going to have as much preparation as we thought they were going to have. I think that's more of a plus than it is playing at 12.
Agreed.
Terrified of that defense.
Yeah, I love Moonshine's comment. Beat Clemson, go Vols. Appreciate Moonshine. We'll take it. Maybe that's more to help your college football playoff resume, but you know, hey, we'll take all the fanhood and all the cheers that we can get. Michelle saying it's crazy that a decade ago we expected a freshman to start and lead the team potentially. Now with the transfer portal, expectations of starting a freshman QB seems a liability. Well, you know what definitely gave me like a little bit of a gulp was seeing Lex Thomas as the second string, as the now backup, like the now second string quarterback. I'm sitting there like, good Lord, please.
Hey, too. I love Lex.
Love him for sure, man. But like Lex Thomas versus that Clemson defensive line, like, oh my gosh. So again, it's not that I don't have faith. It's not I'm hating on him, but he's just
watch Lex
size-wise,
just pass for
just
5 yards
size-wise, you know,
he's very small.
I know. He's a small dude, you know, like hasn't played a single down in an in-state uniform yet, you know, so that's all I'm saying. Listen, I know Russell Wilson was not the biggest guy. I get that. Don't put that in my face, but I'm just saying the size combined with who he's going against, combined with he hasn't played one single down yet is just, you know. So,
but he isn't playing yet, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, exactly. And hopefully he doesn't have to. So
not this year anyway.
Not this year. Yeah. So Andy saying, I just hope CJ comes out of the game healthy. Exactly to our point right there. And then Thomas actually saying, do you think Lex will hit the portal at all? Yeah, you know, I mean, listen, like if he hits the portal, then I get it. Because I mean, again, for him to eventually be a starting quarterback at NC State, from all that we've heard, you know, at camp, what we've seen, and from the fact that he just wasn't necessarily the biggest recruit coming out of high school, but the fact that the bloodline he has connected with him was so prevalent that, you know, it's kind of one of those things, hey, listen, let's take a dart throw at him, bring him on, and if he develops that like Thayer Thomas did and surprises us like Thayer Thomas did, then great. But if he doesn't, then no harm, no foul.
The
so
people he's brought in, like he's like a recruiter on the team. Like
no Rogers and him worked out together in the summer.
He's been in all these guys' ears helping them come to state. So that's huge.
If nothing else, that name has earned the right for any Thomas to have a lifetime scholarship at NC State. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, but again, don't want to necessarily take away as if Lex Thomas is a bum or anything like that. No, he's a solid football player for sure. But this is his
first year to really post injury. Like he was injured. And so he's just starting to just kind of find his way back to where he was. What was it, sophomore, junior year of high school? I mean, that's 2 or 3 years removed, and he's been going through a lot of stuff. So that and to your point, he was not as highly recruited, so he was always going to be projected as a project.
Yep. But I also want to point out that Michelle said it and Andy already answered it, but wasn't one of CJ's receivers Jeremiah Smith, who's was the number 1 overall recruit wide receiver out of the state of Florida and went to Ohio State. So he's played with guys that are as talented, if not more talented than any wide receiver we have on our roster now. Again, I mean, I'm just going based off the fact that he was the number 1 overall recruit in the country. That's I mean, we know what Casey is, we know what Noah Rogers is, but then being the number 1 overall recruit, that's a level, if that makes sense. So I don't think there should be an issue like we saw with Grayson and we didn't see it against Louisiana Tech of throwing behind our guys, right? Because he's used to that speed. So anyway, though, I want to get to a few things real quick here. So I want to touch base real quick on men's soccer, women's soccer, and volleyball here real quick, and then we'll get to some mailbag here, which should probably take us the rest of this time as well. But gotta give a shout out here first and foremost, man. Like Mark Hubbard, I'm telling y'all, like
as advertised.
Mark Hubbard, this is a bold take right here, but if all the moves Boo Corrigan has and maybe will make at NC State, that might be one of the biggest home runs, honestly. Like, I'm so excited about Mark Hubbard. I mean, the fact, again, he brought in, he was given a program that was absolutely at towards the bottom of the ACC. And as of right now, he's technically undefeated. He's 4-0-2. So 4 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. And I mean, he's not facing no slouches either. I mean, Cal, who's relatively, a pretty predominant, big time men's soccer program, JMU, Florida Gulf Coast, High Point, Winthrop, and Stetson, all no, by no means bums whatsoever. So, I mean, just again, not saying that, AC championship, here we come, or national championship, here we come. But it's like, listen, he's taking care of business right now, y'all. And so, going against UNC here this Friday.
UNC Wilmington.
Well, he faces UNC.
He's going by UNC also.
Even on Friday.
Oh, you said Friday.
I mean, and he faces them at UNC. And I'm sitting here saying, hey, listen, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I mean, last year when Mark faced UNC in the NCAA tournament, his New Hampshire beat UNC. So just saying, don't be surprised if he gives UNC a surprise this early in the season. Go ahead, Greg.
No, it's interesting. Just this team has a flair for the dramatics, though. They love scoring in the last 2 to 3 minutes, even in the final minutes of games. So they are definitely giving a new meaning to Cardiac Pack. But again, low expectations, trying to build that culture, great early returns on investment. So, again, it's just about building that culture and having a good, successful first year and then get your guys in because, they have the portal too. And, you can turn teams around, but I don't know a ton about soccer, but I don't know how easy it is I don't know how active a portal is for soccer vice football or baseball or basketball.
Well, he did bring a good handful of his guys from New Hampshire down with him to NC State. Now, it's not like the entire roster is New Hampshire, but a good amount of them, I would say at least 4, 5, or 6 of the guys are from his team in New Hampshire. So
that's important for culture.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. And so that's why, I mean, again, it's just listen, just like you said, Greg, like any success we have this year is just great because this is his first year. He was given pretty much nothing to go off of, and seeing him take care of business. I mean, again, beating Winthrop 7-0. 7-0.
Yeah, the extra point was good.
Extra point was good. Exactly right. I mean, that's I'm like a lot of people listening might not understand, but that is very uncommon to dominate a soccer game to that level. So love to see it for sure. Mark Hubbard, huge shout out to him, and so excited to see what his team can do, and if his team could really just like plant a spear in this program and just break the door wide open with hopefully a huge win. First of all, tomorrow night against UNCW, but also against UNC in Chapel Hill on Friday night. So go support this team, y'all. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at home at Dale Soccer Field, and then Friday night at UNC at 7 p.m. Go make sure and support these guys, and let's get a big win here.
And I'm pretty sure soccer is free, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I believe so too.
Yeah, so I'm fairly confident that it's a free sport. So
and it's a hype environment too.
It looks a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. So go check it out. And then Michelle saying best start since 2012. Possibly. I didn't necessarily do a lot of research on it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I can't even remember the last time that we're really undefeated. It's through 6 games. It's crazy. Anyway, though, so and then women's volleyball. Michelle saying going to see women's volleyball this Friday. So excited. Yeah, I mean, definitely a good bit of expectations here for this team this season to kind of take a step. Definitely didn't start off great, as we faced a tough challenge first match of the year against number 12 Creighton in Omaha, so at Creighton, and got swept 3-0. Would have loved to have seen just get one set, just to make it seem competitive. But listen, first match of the year, number 12 team in the country. Okay, I can get it. So, and since then they've beaten Drake 3-1, lost to Missouri 3-0, Liberty 3-1, North Florida 3-0, South Florida 3-1. Next couple of matches are against VCU, Coastal Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Virginia. So we're going to be starting ACC play here in about a week. So again, just expecting a step forward. Love Lucas Slabe, love the energy he brings. His resume is phenomenal. Again, with all he's done as assistant coach as a part of the Team USA women's volleyball program. So, and again, he's a young guy.
So. Top 10 this week.
Yeah, no, saw that.
Volleyball West.
Saw that. So, again, have huge expectations, for the season. The fact that we only lost one player from last season. This is a very senior-led team. So, expecting a step forward in a very tough ACC conference for sure. But listen, we got to keep, give us a beacon of hope. Give us something, to sink our teeth into. Last year, again, that huge win against Louisville, which is the first time we've ever beaten a top 10 program, was huge. But what else is there? Like, what's going to be that one thing to sink our teeth into this season? And hopefully, it's a couple of pretty big ACC wins this year. That's the hope. So there's a lot of opportunities for it.
Yeah, I just had a question. If anyone saw, did anyone see the volleyball tweet from the other day when they beat South Florida? Did anyone actually look at the graphic?
No, why?
Well, I'm just curious what this means. So I'm going to show you on the screen here, but it has this. I don't know if you can see it. It has an RV next to South Florida. And anyone know what that means?
So because the same thing, and let us know in the chat, y'all, if y'all know what it means. But also too, like for South Florida, it was RV South Florida, and then for Missouri, it was RV Missouri.
Is it? I don't know. Like, I know they were playing in a tournament, so I don't know if that means anything. I'm just curious. Anyway,
yeah.
I had no idea. So
RV stands for received votes, so meaning that it's a top 25 program, I guess.
Got you. Okay, got it. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
So they're not a top 25, but they're like a top 30, top 35 type team.
Correct. Yeah, they're not top 25, but they're top 30, top 35. Yep. So cool. So that makes it feel a little better. I mean, hey, listen, a 3-1 win over RV South Florida. That's
more than likely tournament team. That's probably a good way to say it too.
Yeah. I like it. That's what's up. Nick saying I've been dialed into men's soccer this season, and I never thought I'd be saying that about soccer. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. Is just like I love. I saw there's in like the student section that there's a guy that has like a poster board, and it was like Mark's staple or something like that. And so like after every win, they like add a sticker to that board, and actually Coach Hubbard's actually the one that adds it himself. So I love that little tradition of it's like the build up of the wins, and keeping track of it, like this little motivational thing. I like that. That's cool.
Don't they oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish.
Well, I was just saying, I mean, like little things like that, like make fans like myself, like, oh man, we got the win. I need to see that video of us adding that sticker, like just little things. It doesn't mean like it's nothing of like, whoa, but it's like, it's something that, hey, now I'm going to look forward to when we get the win. I want to see that video. But go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I know like, baseball with the student section, it's like Avon's Army. Don't they have something like similar like that for the soccer team too? They have like the student section has a name. What is that? Do you know?
I don't know. Let us know in the chat if you know what the name of it is. And
I just like cool stuff like that. Like that's what I think, where you can kind of just become one of the team, if that makes sense.
Well, and it's sick
Red
because
Terrors, thank you.
Red Terrors.
For some reason I was thinking Red Toros. I'm like, we're not Bulls. Yeah.
No.
Red Terrors.
Well, like because they're legit. Like they do like all the smoke and the color smoke and everything and the chants and
it's freaking. I need to get to a game.
Me too. No, I need to. For sure. So, Jonathan Hall coming in here, I guess a presumable Clemson fan saying, "Go Tigers! If y'all are coming to see us in Lot 10, if y'all are coming, come see us in Lot 10. Look for the Kool-Aid Man flag." So, Greg, are we going to be seeing you in Death Valley this weekend?
Oh, I'm going to be there. Yeah,
let's go.
I might make my way over to Lot 10, wherever that is at. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's near the stadium, right?
Bro, that walk. What was it? 22, 23. What was it? 22.
Right? It was basically the outside edge of campus. That was crazy.
Holy moly! I think we walked like 8 miles that day.
I know.
Burned some calories.
Like honestly, I was thinking about like, because I've been to Clemson enough times now, and especially this last time, and it could have just been the build up also too of game day and how like Greg, for all those tuning in, even Kansas Ball, just a reminder about with Greg, me, Macon's brother Amos, and then my cousin, all 5 of us went down, and like, what time did we wake up, guys? Like 2:30 in the morning or something like that?
Oh no,
it was like it was like 3 or 4, yeah,
like 3 or 4.
We got there at like 5 or 6 in the morning to make sure we got I remember the sun was coming up.
Yeah,
on. Yeah, Greg walks out there with the flag.
That's right. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was like it was between 3 and 4 because I remember literally we got back to the hotel after
like
the
11.
game.
Oh, it was later than that.
Only before the game. I remember we only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I remember that.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. So literally, we were up for like 22 hours. It was crazy how long we were up for. That was a long day.
Yeah, because we stayed in like Greenville, Spartansburg, wherever, and it was like from there it was a good hour and 45 minutes from there to Clemson, maybe hour and a half.
A little over an hour.
Was it? I don't know.
Do you know what, guys? When we win this weekend, that drive's going to seem like 20 minutes. It's going to be okay.
Well, that's my thing though. Is like
I have an 8-hour drive.
I know, and it could just be me, but and this is what I'm saying about like all the fans, in-state fans complaining about the upgrades, with the PNC Arena. I'm sitting here being like, listen, y'all, Lenovo Center, right. Like with the parking garage and all that being added, being like, listen, y'all, our experience, like whether you're a away fan or you're a home fan, is phenomenal. I would take all day price on Tuesday compared to Clemson, because going to a Clemson game is a nightmare. I'll say that plainly. It is tough. It is tough. It's like, again, basically, unless you're a Clemson fan, you're gonna have to more likely, stay in Spartansburg or whatever, which is 45 minutes to an hour away, if not more. And then parking is a nightmare. It's not going to be close, more likely, unless you're paying an arm and a leg. And it's not an easy game.
You have to really want to go there.
You have to really want to go. Exactly. And
I'm just thankful this is the last time for a while we're going back there because of the new schedule.
Exactly right. But let us know. Let us know in the comments. By the way, before Greg jumps in, let us know in the comments if you're going to be there. Definitely want to know if we have any people going to be supporting the red and white.
Are going to be there. I got a buddy of mine who's got some high school students who play for a local soccer team here, and they've got a game in Asheville. And they're going to go to the soccer game they play in Asheville and then drive down to Clemson.
That's even further.
I don't know, but some of these gay kids are doing. I guess they're state fans. I thought that's pretty cool.
Good for them.
So
good for them.
Yeah, but go ahead, Greg. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say. I think between, ironically, Clemson and Florida State, those are the two toughest places to get to as far as getting to games.
Florida State sucks to get to.
Yeah, Florida State's a rough
really.
one
You can't fly to the state capital, and you can't even.
I mean, you can, but Tallahassee is not like a world beater airport. It's it's only an hour and a half. Okay, thanks, Michelle. I just felt like it would be further. But Tallahassee is not great. Even I looked at getting, because I was like, okay, like I was hoping my dad would go because they live in Charleston. I'm like, okay, maybe he can drive up to Greenville and I can fly into Greenville, but like just flying into Greenville, trying to get a rental car, the whole thing was, and then hotels, it was just so 8-hour drive.
Yep. But anyway, so by the way, Andy or Greg, Andy says that he's got a couch for you in Charlotte if you want to stop halfway. LOL.
It'll be
let's see. Michelle saying back in 2017 we walked a country mile to get to the stadium from where we parked. Yep.
Go to that comment.
Yeah. So Cars is saying in our last two noon games at Clemson, we lost by a combined total of 8 points, and we should have won both 2010 and 2016. We played good non-noon games and Death Valley.
Yeah, I think you park it here for a second. Like Klubnik, again, he doesn't scare me, right? And the only thing for me is it's going to be our offense versus their defense, in my opinion. And
Phil Maffa scares me.
Well, Maffa to me, I thought the same thing earlier. I was like, I could see him having like 3 touchdowns on us, but like
we got to tackle,
right?
Yeah, don't try to knock the ball out of his hand. Take him down. That's all. That's what we do, and I don't understand it. At least we don't have to worry about Will Shipley.
I will say PFF grades Clemson as a better pass rushing team than they are, a better rush defense team than they are a pass team.
That's interesting. And
a better rush team.
And our strength is pass protection. I feel like I could be wrong in that, but
maybe they ask CJ to throw the ball more. I don't know. Yeah. They're going to have to run. Dave Doran. They're going to have to run to establish that. So.
Well, we don't want to talk too necessarily much yet, as we want to save our previews for episodes. But hey, get in line now. Well, real quick though, too. Jonathan's saying we have golf carts. Got to know people and have people. Ooh,
I can pay. I can pay with beer. So whatever.
Yes, that's whatever it takes. And then Nick saying, always felt like Clemson would be a fun place to go to a game, but I've never had the chance to go.
I mean, it is fun. When you go, it is fun. It's just obviously we're just complaining with the walk here, but everything else about it, like in the drive game down there. But I remember a few years ago we talked about, we're like, man, the culture, like the production that they make of a game day atmosphere is next level compared to that. We think NC State's is good. There's this next level.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, and again, I hate using this comp, but I mean, it is very SEC like, just the way that they do things.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. The size of the stadium, their traditions. They won some national championships. They put all their eggs into the football basket. It screams.
That's crazy because the basketball went to Elite Eight last year.
Right, but I mean, comparative. I mean, 2 national championships, and that was the first Elite Eight. But yes,
I get it.
Yep.
So yeah, I had a great time. Again, I always want to go win.
Yeah,
I always want to go win. Yeah, exactly. Andy, don't get to. I have no idea where I'm sitting, so I don't know where I'm in store for, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be in there being red, wearing red, and being loud. So that's
right. That's what you gotta do, man. That's what you gotta do.
That's what you gotta do.
But yeah, no, again, just definitely a bucket list for sure. If you can make it out there, for sure, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we don't know how many more this is gonna happen, right?
No. But yeah, Jonathan, and the one thing too as well, that you go to Clemson and they do tailgate right for sure. And by the way, Greg, you might need to go with them and go and maybe hand out some Maconey as well. I mean, it doesn't mean that Clemson fans can't enjoy some Maconey Gold barbecue sauce and dry rubs, right?
So I got another grind my gears real quick.
Yeah.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Can we get more than 5 hours of tailgating? Just let's move on.
This has been a decades-long argument, Greg. It's not happening, I don't think.
No, I know.
Look, if you're going to take away our tailgating, at least give us 5 hours. See, that way you would say, hey, we gave you something. Even though you can't do it, we're going to give you more than 5 hours. I know they're not taking away tailgating. I know.
Greg, how long do you want it to be? How long do you want them to be?
As long as I want tailgate.
Yes is the answer.
As long as I want to be out there.
Wow.
I am an adult. Let me adult.
So do you want it to open up at 6 a.m. no matter what? What do you want? So court is in session. What do you want to propose to the court, Greg, for consideration?
Yeah, I 10 hours. All right. So if it's
10 hours,
if it's a noon game,
you want it doubled.
Yeah, double it. I don't even think that there's and we have Jonathan Hall here in the conversation. Does Clemson have restrictions? I don't think they do. A lot of places don't have restrictions. At least the big time programs. I still think there's some that do, but it's antiquated. And I get why you do it. Try to keep people responsible and stop stupid
I've
stuff.
seen totally a ton of people drunk going into that football game for 5 hours. I don't think that's really helping. So
no. Exactly right. So how much are you really curbing?
Well, the only thing is that obviously if you open it up, which I mean, hey, listen, you're about to ask fans to pay a good bit more money per ticket. So
everything.
Because the only other thing which I was thinking is, well, then you're gonna have to pay people more to be there earlier, such as the gates, personnel, the police officers, you name it. But yeah, I mean, but I do agree with you that it should be longer. But yeah, I mean, so 10 hours. So you're saying even if it's a noon game, then you want it to open up at 2 a.m.
I don't even think you need to hold those police officers really. You don't even need need the parking lot attendant.
That's student tailgate, man. That's student tailgating, Greg.
Well, so maybe you put the restriction on the student tailgate, but everyone else gets to be adults. Again, I don't know what the answer is, but you're right. Those kids probably shouldn't be out there. You should be in school, kids.
Not even on Saturday. You want them to be in class, Greg?
Hey, you should be studying. There's always time to study.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I studied at halftime and timeouts.
Well, hey.
Okay, Boomer. Take a seat, Boomer.
Well, hey, listen. The one positive though is that if you're out there 10 hours early, that means that you can start smoking that meat a little bit early.
That's what I'm saying.
A little bit of that Oconee Gold Carolina Red, man. I'm telling you, Greg. Let me do my commercial here, man. You got to help me with the commercial here, brother.
No, we need it. That's why we need 10 hours.
That's right. We need 10 hours, dude.
More time to eat meat with that sauce on it, man.
That's right. That Coney Gold Dust with that Carolina Red delicious vinegar sauce. Oh, just so good, y'all. So again, just like it says right down here, if you listen to us, y'all, go to our description, click that link, and go try some of these amazing sauces, y'all. Again, mustard based, vinegar based, you name it. And then a delicious dry rub. No, exactly. Go try some, y'all. And again, use that code Tuffy Talk to get 15% off your entire order, y'all.
Here's the thing too. It's small batch. So there's a lot of love that's put into each one of those bottles.
Very much.
Like they're handcrafted. It's legit,
all
dude.
The keywords,
legit
man.
stuff.
All the keywords.
Legit.
Small batch, y'all. This is good stuff. I'm telling you. So
small batch, a lot of flavor.
And as you see, Greg, I've been using a lot of my Coney Gold stuff here, but I made sure I held on to this one, which honestly is my favorite. The Coney Gold Carolina Red, the vinegar-based sauce.
I like the twang in it.
Look like a true North Carolinian. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, and you see which side of the East Carolinian or of the North Carolinian I am on too, picking this off.
The only one that matters. All I gotta say.
The only one that matters.
Exactly. So, but Jonathan though saying, who's again the Clemson fan, saying, I agree. I wish State would add more tailgating. Lucky my State friends are in the RV lot, so they have unlimited. Clemson tailgate 6 a.m. lots open for noon, 7 to 8 a.m. for
That's
later
reasonable.
than noon only.
I'm okay with that. That's perfect.
I agree
because
too.
Because then at this point, okay, so you at 6 a.m. So that's 6 hours of tailgating. Noon games are a little different. They're built a little differently. But 7, 8 a.m. for a 7:30 game, if you're assuming you go all the way to the day, that's 12 hours. Perfect.
Yep. Agreed.
You can smoke a lot of meat with Oconee in 12 hours.
Amen to that. Amen, y'all. So again, go click that link in the description. Use code Tuffy Talk, get 15% off your entire order, y'all. Go do it. Now let's jump in some Tuffy's mailbag, y'all. All right, y'all. So our first question here, which will not be on a PowerPoint presentation, but actually will just be read with my own voice, which actually comes from I lost it. Here we go. Here it is. Found it. From PackFan26 in our Discord saying, will we see more of Kendrick Raphael this week? Should he become the lead back after his performance on Saturday? Which if I can bring back up
1 touchdown and a hurdle.
Well, did he get the
hurdle
touchdown?
was pretty impressive though.
Well, the fact he's done it now, he's done it twice. Like it's
Here's my thing with Kendrick Raphael. If he really wants to see the field more, he needs to be better pass blocker because his PFF grade and pass blocking is so he's not really good at that. To me,
9 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown. So average 7 yards a carry.
That's really great, right? I mean, I get it. He needs to be a more balanced running back though. Like he's got the running part down, great. But I would like to see the other part of it. I know. I think the guy who, when I see him run out of all these guys, that impressed me the most, that I want to see play more, is Hollywood.
Yep.
That dude runs differently than the other guys. Now, Raphael's hurdling guys, so I can't say that's too different.
It is make something out of nothing every time.
Yeah, I mean, our quarterbacks ran for 8 for 49, so that's 7 yards a clip too, right? So you'll take that any time. I thought, pretty. We ran the ball pretty well. We ran for about a 5-yard average, which you'll take that any day. And that was with Kim and Concepcion having a -3 on that. We haven't seen Duke Scott in the last 2, so that kind of becomes the question. Are they looking to redshirt him? I think the answer is probably you can probably do that with the stable of backs that you have, assuming everyone stays healthy. Yeah, I mean, every time Kendrick touches the ball, something positive. It feels like every time he touches it, something positive is happening.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the future. Let's put it that way, man. Like, I'm super excited about him. Him and Hollywood Smothers heading into next season. Like, that's a great base right there.
Yeah, and you have who's the kid from Ohio coming
Duke
in?
Scott.
That's pretty. Well, you have Duke, and then
Reinhardt.
Thank you. Yeah,
Kentrell Reinhardt.
Yeah. So that room's going to be pretty. It's pretty solid, assuming everything stays status quo.
Yeah. But I mean, like, so Wolfpack's asking the question, can we continue to emphasize the passing game rather than trying to run it 2 or 3 downs? Listen, at the end of the day, like, we're never going to be an air raid, and honestly, I don't necessarily believe in air raid. I feel like you got to be a balanced offense in order to truly be successful. I mean, again, you look at the top teams. There's a balance. There's got to be a balance, because they go off of each other.
Well,
now it could be run combined with a play action. It could be a run just again because like let's say this. Unless the personnel works out perfectly, which with this team this year, we do not have the personnel to be any kind of air raid or passing game offense. We have to have a balance. So, but go ahead, Greg.
Well, I just think that because of the way today's game is designed with the RPOs, and you have these bubble screens, and sometimes those go down as passes, but they're essentially a run.
Right.
I don't necessarily think you have to be balanced in quotations. I just think that you just take with what the defense gives you, and if it's an easy completion, you take the 5 yards and you keep it moving. If it's a run with 4 yards and a cloud of dust, you take that. Just keep moving the change. I don't need to be quote unquote balanced.
Yeah, well, but I mean, especially now though with CJ, with Grayson anyway, we
we spread it. We had, we ran out of empty sets and we were successful. So again, it's all about disguising the play. Like, when we've tried to line up in obvious run situations, we haven't been as successful as running off downs, if that makes sense.
Well, and this is really the first game too this season that we've actually blocked the run well as well. I mean, that's really kind of, in my opinion, the biggest thing from it. I mean, we had 36 total carries for 151 yards to 4.2 yards a carry, which is just like we were saying earlier is pretty good. Now I know that, I mean, Louisiana Tech, I think, was the 119th ranked defense in the SP plus rankings. So definitely you're about to bump it up a good bit going against Clemson, their defensive line for sure. But that's what I'm saying is, like, we got to be able to run the ball against Clemson. We have to just to take some pressure off of CJ, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Not be so reliant on CJ. And especially because
he's already got a ton on his back right now. We got to take some of that off.
Well, I think you take the KISS approach, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Like just give him easy wins, and continue to build that confidence. Get him in a rhythm. I think that's.
But see, I also to get the count of that, they can't keep throwing these little net -1 passing plays to KC, which is what I go back to the whole Grayson thing. But like, I they're gonna have to take shots, and they will. So
this was a great comment.
And that goes and Greg and so an even better. We'll get rid of that, and we'll even ask.
You'll see mine.
The next question actually was exactly that. No, you're good. So Deadpool 06 asking Greg, does the offensive play calling open up more with CJ under center? And here's my thing.
He gives you more reads. I think he gives you more flexibility.
Well, because here's my thing. Like, why? But why would it open up under CJ? Why would it, like?
Because the run game.
Yeah, there's an element there that I feel.
But Grayson could run. He could run.
He could, but I just think it's gonna be a little bit different. Like he's not, like, you're not calling a play for Grayson run the ball.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why I haven't seen it yet that I can think of.
I think we had one design draw.
Maybe, yeah.
For Grayson, maybe one or two, but there was more
intentionality with CJ.
Yeah.
But here's my thing though. Here's my thing though too is like okay, because Grayson could run the ball. He did run the ball at Coastal. Now, was he Lamar Jackson or anything like that? No, but he did run the ball. But here's my other thing though, is that the concerns we had about Grayson not running the ball because we didn't want him to get injured is now 50 times that we cannot have CJ go down. It's just like, that is not even.
Well, let me go back to what I said earlier.
You gotta be smart.
I want Grayson to be the guy who plays. To be honest with you. I think State wants Grayson to be the guy. Like, I think if the coach had to pick, they want Grayson to be the guy because one, they've invested in him. I think, but two, but it's
we've all invested in him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm getting at. But it's like if he fails, that sets State back, right? So they need him to be the guy, and but we'll see what happens. Like, if it were me, I'd want him. I like the experience. The 10,000 yards of his career. So, like, I want that. I haven't seen.
But if he's not doing it, then it's not really.
I agree. No, I agree. If he's not, I want to win. That's why it's a feel thing. That's why it's a feel thing to me, because if it's like, if he's not getting it done, you only have but a small window of time to make that judgment call, right? And
this isn't. They
might be in that little sweet spot where they have to decide.
Yeah, this isn't a 40+ game season, right? Like for basketball, or 50, almost 50 games for baseball. Like, you have 13 weeks to get it figured out, and you only have like 2 or 3, definitive games, if that makes sense, right? Like those games that really matter. They all count, but some matter more than others.
Agreed, 100%.
We'll see, but I think CJ has everything in him, from what we've seen, to really catch Clemson off guard and make it, get win. I thought how NC State would it be to have CJ go down there and win this game, and State wins by 2 or 3 scores, or goes down there and gets the win in general, like with a freshman quarterback. It would be like the most unpredictable thing for State, and that seems very NC State. So,
agreed. Yeah. Now
and then lose next week against Northern Illinois.
Well, exactly right. Yeah, I know. Which, and that's kind of the funny thing is that I mean, and I don't know, just like, and I'll talk. I'll kind of give a little bit of hints into it of why, I'm feeling confident for Clemson because obviously I said at the beginning I was going to say that, and we'll jump on over to our preview here. And so again, y'all, to make sure you do not miss out on our previews, make sure you can hit that subscribe button, y'all, and hit that notification bell, and that way you'll be notified whenever these preview episodes come out. As again, we'll have a couple of different episodes coming out for you here this week. But for me, I think the biggest confidence going into it is honestly what we saw with the team rallying around CJ in the second half, and sitting here and that. Listen, I mean, like we now from what we heard also too, because another thing that makes me feel good about Saturday is the fact that we are going to be pretty healthy going into the Clemson game. The fact that Dorn basically said during his press conference that Aiden White and Brandon Sisse should be available is huge.
Is Boykin out until the end of this month?
Yeah, he's
Boykin's
out
for a little bit.
Yeah, at least another 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, with how DK Kaufman and these guys have played,
DK stepped up for real. He's killed it.
Was it Coley? Cooley? Which one had
Corey Coley?
Coley had a nice
Coley.
game. The kid from the transfer from Villanova. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Not Demarcus Cooley, right?
No, secondary kid.
Oh yeah, but anyway,
because he came in for Sisse.
Yeah. Anyway,
gosh dang it,
you'll think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, and so like all the concerns that we still have about Clemson are still there with the fact that yes, Cade Klubnik looked really good against App State, but even Nick Saban over this weekend even said it best when he was talking about one team where he said bye weeks are not always necessarily a good thing. They can be a bad thing. So, and just like, Ken said at the beginning where now, all the preparation you had about Grayson.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to change your game plan a little bit.
You only have a half of film to look at, really.
Right.
And the Tennessee game, but that was just basically handoffs from CJ. So.
Right. But
Devin
also,
Marshall,
because,
by the way.
Kevin Marshall?
Devin Marshall.
Devin Marshall. Thank you. Yeah. But also, too, I mean, listen, like Chilton's saying, too, this is another thing I feel good about. Vincent has been phenomenal for State so far, kicking the ball. He's been great.
That field goal that 54-yarder was good for another 5 or 6 yards too.
Yeah.
Isn't it just crazy how these guys are just booming field goals now? Like 5, 6, 7 years ago, it's like you were lucky to get a 45-yarder, 50-yarder. Now it's
42.
Like, now it's like 55. I mean, the dude from freaking La Tech hit a 57-yarder. It's just what was the one guy in Western Carolina hit like a 55, 57-yarder. Like these kids are just freaking got like robotic legs.
I know. Seriously though.
Poetic justice though if we won off.
That would be that I would meet at the Paul if we do that.
I would love it.
Well, and Michelle's saying if we win with a field goal, the redemption would be complete.
I mean,
yeah, agreed. So, yeah, the same thing. Andy says.
Kyle Bambard would finally get to have a peaceful sleep at night. I feel like if we just won off of a field goal.
Yeah,
leave him alone.
Yeah, I want to go not get beat by 20.5 points. Let's just put it that way.
No. Yeah, 100%.
I really don't think it'll be more than a 2-score game.
I'm after Tennessee. I'm not doing this again. I'm not saying, oh yeah, blah blah this or blah blah that. Nope. We haven't covered all year.
That's true. It's a good point.
That is true.
All righty, y'all. So again, make sure if you haven't already, go click the link down in the description below. Go check out Coney Gold and their amazing barbecue sauces and rub. Use that code Tuffy Talk to get 15% off your entire order. And again, we have our preview episodes we're going to be recording right after this. Part 1 will come out tomorrow. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're notified on all your devices whenever we go live with these episodes and any of our in-state content as well. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeart Podcasts, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor as well and leave a 5-star review. And again, if you can make it out to Death Valley and support NC State, please do it. We would love you for it for sure. And again, we'll have some representation there. Greg will be holding it down for us. And again, just hoping that, for us to have a legendary game and shock the world. Go ahead, Greg. What's your comment?
Yeah, so I think we need to start like a new tradition, like here on Tuffy Talk, right? About the NIL, right? Last week we said if we scored 70, we would donate $70 to NIL, right?
Yep.
So what if we did this? All right. So let me give me 1 second. Anybody know Vincent's number? I think it's in the 90s, right?
Yeah, is it 99?
Yes.
I think it's 99.
Back. Yeah. But anyway.
So where I'm going with this, if he kicks the game winner at any point, right? So
one pack. I like one pack's idea.
90. What was that?
I'll donate points times 10.
Ooh, dang.
Ooh. All right. So he's number 94. So if he kicks
94.
the game winner, and that could be at the 5-minute mark. So if we win by 3 and he's kicked the game-winning field goal, I will donate $94 to Savage Wolves /1Pack NIL. So there we go. That'll be our weekly. We need to do this every week. Have a weekly NIL.
If we win, I'll donate 94. I'll donate $194 if we beat Clemson on Saturday.
But anyway, I think this could be something cool we could do, right? So something. So
yeah.
And then next time let's have our listeners come up with it, because I think this could be something kind of fun little tradition that we do. Try to raise some money.
I like it. Yeah. one pack saying $940. Yep.
That's my child support check. No, I'm good. I'm not even kidding. That's my monthly child support. So,
oh my God,
I gotta save that money. So I'm in for 94 1-pack.
Yep, I'll do that too. I'm in for it. Let's make it happen. Let's shock the world and see what happens. So, Jonathan, you asked the question, what's y'all's favorite uni of all time? You know what we'll do is we'll take that question. That'll be the first thing that we answer in our previews here coming out here. So
Tuffy Talk After Dark.
We'll Tuffy Talk After Dark. So anyway, y'all, again, appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to tune in next Monday, 8 p.m., where we have our Tuffy Talk live show again and break down the Clemson game, hopefully after a huge, huge win. And we'll see y'all then. Appreciate everybody being here, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Go Pack, y'all.